A footballer can earn in 1 week what most people won't earn an entire lifetime. Let that sink in. Every time salary numbers are posted online, people react the same way. How can one person earn that much money? Is this madness or does it actually make business sense? Let's break it down. Welcome to the Through Archives podcast, Conversation Beyond Thoughts, with your host, Salim Dimack. Football today isn't just a sport anymore. It's a global entertainment industry worth billions. And top players are no longer just athletes. They are brands, influencers, and global icons. The biggest football clubs are closer to global entertainment companies than normal sport teams. Like Netflix, Disney, they depend on attention and audience engagement. The best talent attract the biggest audience. And the bigger the audience, the bigger the business becomes. That's why clubs spend huge amounts on elite players. Players brings fans, sponsorships, social media attention, and commercial value. That's why you see a lot of these elite players got huge amount of fans and numbers throughout their social media channels with millions and millions of fans. We got the Cristianos, the Messis, Jude Bellingham, Kylian Mbappe, and so many of them. You can see because of big numbers of supporters or fans, it actually translates into money. And big commercial companies tend to want that kind of money to turn them into sponsorship. So we may ask ourselves, where the money comes from. Football generates money through several major revenue streams: broadcasting rights. Leagues sell television rights for billions, and clubs receive a share of that money. That's why we see a lot of certain television channels having the right to showcase these leagues on their television channels. So they pay licensing for those leagues, and in return, the club receive their share of that money. Good example right now is the FIFA World Cup. As you can see, throughout the world in different countries, different media channels have received the TV rights to showcase FIFA World Cup. For example, here in Tanzania, we've got Tanzania Broadcasting Corporation to televise the FIFA World Cup. We've got Adam TV, so on and so forth. The second major one is sponsorship and commercial deals. Big brand partners usually partners with club for visibility and global exposure. For example, we can see big commercial deals, sponsorship throughout the football arena. Big airlines, Qatar Airways, Emirates, Etihad Airlines, they do sponsor different clubs. In return, these big companies pay clubs for them to gain visibility and global exposure for their fans, the football concierge to know more about their brands and buy their services or products. You can see a lot of ads throughout the football pitches, big brands like Spotify and many others. A lot of chunk of money too comes from this big sponsorship. Also, other segment, match day revenue, the ticket sales. We've got VIP boxes, food, merchandise, and stadium experiences all generate income. So it ain't focused on only one stream of income, but rather it branched out in several segments, but these are main segment of the money generation. And the other one, we could say players are the product. These footballers are earning a lot of money weekly. The player themselves are the product. In entertainment industries, top talent gets paid the most because they attract audiences, especially we could say for those talent that are really unique or once in a lifetime or generational talent, people gravitate toward that kind of talent. In return, to retain that kind of talent, these big clubs tend to pay a little bit more. Other clubs put a lot of money on site to buy the talent to play for their club. So football clubs see elite players as investment, not just employee. When you invest in them, you expect a return. You invest more to get a higher return, just like normal investment. If a player helps increases trophies, fans, shirt sales, and sponsorship, then their salary becomes part of the business strategy. But above all, we can say there are also a darker side of the money, I would say, in a kind of way, because behind the money and fame comes intense pressure. Every performance is analyzed and scrutinized in detail. Every mistake tends to trend online. Footballer deals with high level of criticism, injuries, mental stress, and enormous expectations, not only from the clubs, but also from the fans and football spectators. So modern football is glamorous, but it's also one of the most demanding entertainment industry in the world. In general, because of this, we can ask ourselves why individual players earn so much. Because first of all, there is talent scarcity, very few elite players in the world. Not every kind of footballer tends to have that kind of once in a lifetime talent. Also, there is global audience. One player can attract millions and millions of fans. Competition between clubs, bidding wars tend to rise the salaries of the top players. And also there is a short career span. Football is seen like one of the shortest career span in the world because it tends to be both a little bit more of physical. As you age and you go throughout physical evolution, your body tends to behave differently. That's why during the peak years, the top talent tend to earn a lot because peak earning years are limited. The bigger question is, are we paying players for skills or the attention? That is kind of debatable right now because football has evolved and becomes an enormous entertainment industry. That's a question we can put on hand and can be discussed. Are we really playing for skills or are we playing for attention? Is football a sport anymore or just a global entertainment economy? Yeah, that's kind of debatable. And impromptu side note is that African countries produce a huge amount of raw football talent, but on the other hand, Europe holds the majority of the financial power, broadcasting deals, sponsorship, and global commercial reach. Africa produces the talent, but Europe tend to monetize it. And that is because I would say Africa, in terms of making sure that the talent is groomed, nurtured, develops, is kind of a bit mundane over here rather than in other part of the world, especially in Europe, where they tend to take this business a little bit more serious and people are really engaging it as a part of investment and as a business in general. But nowadays, Africa has really channeled in involving the South is kind of in the sport world. It's kind of developing and we are getting there. We haven't reached that potential yet, but we are on a good path. But we do need to nurture our talent and able to monetize ourselves from Africa, then internationally. On that note, we can ask ourselves, so who's really paying footballers millions weekly? Broadcasters, sponsors, fans, advertisers, and global attention are all part of the system. Football today is no longer just a game, it's a global business powered by entertainment, emotion, and influence. Thank you for listening. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and let your thoughts become conversations.